Over here, Alec Lewis of The Athletic.
Hi, Alec.
I hate having to do that.
Do what?
You have, hey, say your name and affiliation, and then you got a whole auditorium of staff. And
I was laughing so hard.
I mean, it is awful.
But why were you required to say your name per Jeff Andor Sam? And good morning.
Yeah, Jeff Anderson, one of the best of all time, doing it.
Yeah, he spoke on the microphone yesterday. I didn't know my mic was on, and I never hear him talk. We're carrying the press conference. I hear Jeff. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I mean, to hear
more cowbell, more Jeff.
To hear Jeff's voice was great. But yeah, say your name and affiliation. Then I'm behind rows of cameras, and I'm asking Mark Wolf a question. He has no idea where I am, who I am, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and then the next question, do you say it again? I'm Alex, still of The Athletic. That was a Kevin Seifert.
He stayed strong.
Yeah, Kevin.
Over here.
But Kevin almost said he almost said still ESPN.
Yeah, right. Do you prefer press conferences in the team amphitheater where they do team meetings like yesterday, or the media center? And why? And good morning.
Well, the media center was built.
You're going to say good morning to me, damn it.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Your hair look. I mean, I was going to say you came in with I don't know if the gel's working extra time. I don't know. Lack of humidity. I don't know what's going on, but it's
lack of humidity. And thank you.
Sure. But no, I prefer the press conference.
I'm Paul Allen. I'm over here still with KFAN.
Yeah.
The press conferences I prefer to be in the media center because that's what the media center was constructed. But I get why
they got your seat. They
put it in this grand auditorium with the backdrop and it's perfect for the YouTube channel. I mean, it's Vikings entertainment. They're not. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's 70 cameras in there, like we're filming a Steven Spielberg episode of introducing the main character. Yeah.
Half the presser was just people saying, I'm over here.
Over here.
To your left, Mark. Right here, Nolan. Up here.
Yeah, I'm the Minnesota Star Tribune, and I'm also from the Minnesota Star Tribune. It's like, I hate doing that. I just really, it feels like you're trying to ego your way into it, and I just don't. That's just not my. I don't know. But
now he knows you.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe he does. I don't know. Maybe he's been one of the guys I've been talking to all along that you think is Tom Condon.
With the word ego you just used.
Yeah.
Now, this was
good morning.
Good morning. I believe this was a headline, and this is the second part of it. Vikings involving the new general manager, Nolan Teasley. Good morning. Vikings recent history defined by an endless cycle of silos. No, it was a tweet.
Yeah, it was.
Your tweet. You wrote it.
Yeah.
Vikings recent history defined by an endless cycle of silos, egos, and struggle. I don't get the silos part. What does that mean?
Different, I would say, people and that was I'm talking about at the very top. Like, I think if you go back through the 20 years of this ownership group's time here, at the very top of the organization, when you're talking GM, coach, personnel, silos, meaning different people stay in there, they find different pockets. And going through the archives, reading about it, I mean, it just shows up time and time again.
I just don't get the term, and I'm sure you're accurate. I don't understand the silos part.
Silos being, I'm trying to think of the best, like people, it's just where it's less collaborative. People stay in their with their pocket of people that they trust.
Yes.
And not the entire pocket of the front officer or the leadership group. And so I wrote that because I just think, for me, when you look at the last 20 years, you can think about what represents the Vikings. Adrian Peterson's rushing the football. Justin Jefferson's route running savvy, all that.
The gink.
But one of the characteristics of this team has been just a constant cycle at the top and reconfiguring what's the best structure and what's the best mix of personalities. And this latest one, you hope, and you have to hope because you're a Vikings fan, is the mix that finally pushes through the barrier that they've never been able to push through.
At Alec_Lewis via X, The Athletic, theathletic.com. With the presser yesterday, carried 9 to noon. The boss, Mark Wolf, was playing fast yesterday, don't you think? He's playing really fast on the microphone.
Yeah, that was, it was the most I've sat with them at owners' meetings every year, essentially, since I started covering the team.
Judd got his goad.
Yeah, well, there were four consecutive. Yeah,
Judd backed up and went, "Go ahead, Judd."
Judd came in. You knew something was going to happen. But there were four consecutive questions on the structure.
Yeah.
And so at one point he goes, if we're talking about the structure, we've got a problem. Okay. And he said, okay. I'm like, all right, that was the end of that.
It's a good thing I think you were the first structure question.
And I was the most general and like, I'm gonna
over here, Alec Lewis of the Athletic.
I mean, it was awful.
With that.
It was awful.
Oh, wasn't it? You went staccato. You went 3 to 6:30 to draw it out so the eyeballs could actually find you.
But no, yeah, Mark Wilf, the structure stuff, Mark Wilf obviously entered that auditorium wanting to make it as clear as I can remember him making it, what the structure is and how it's going to go from here. And I think that's a positive. Like, I think if you came out of that yesterday wondering who's still making the final decision and who reports to who, then it just murkies the picture in a way that doesn't need to be murky at this point. So,
but we've just gone 22 through, the Brzezinski draft. I mean, yeah, that one too. We've just gone a handful of years. You and I chatting, all of us chatting, unless I'm missing something here with these sideline chats with the scribes and the media and stuff, not knowing who picked whom and why.
Yeah. 100%.
So it comes back to the general, if it's a home run, nice job, GM. If it's a whiff, nice job, GM. Where it might not have been the GM on the home run or the whiff. And it's kind of the same thing right now, unless it's like, tell me if you truly believe this. If there's somebody, Kevin O'Connell or Brian Flores, absolutely love, let's say Caleb Banks, like this most recent draft. Mm-hmm. And Teasley is somebody else. I just wonder how that's going to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is part of why I wrote what I did last night. Like, I went back to 2007 in the archives, and I read a story that Kevin Seifert wrote at the time he worked for the Minnesota Star-Tribune. And, it shows Kevin's longevity and the high level that he's done it for 20 years, first and foremost. But what it also showed, there was a paragraph in that story from 2007 where Kevin Seifert writes, who was making the decision? That's 20 years ago. The fact that these questions have still been asked.
But that was the first year post Fran Foley.
Yes.
And Childress had complete control. Spielman was personnel guy.
Yes, but my point is, 20 years later, you could have plugged in the new names, and it could have been the same situation. I think in the best case scenario here, Nolan Teasley and Kevin O'Connell are absolutely, and Brian Flores, they are working together to where when the chips settle, it's who picked whom, that they were all actually on board with that. Now, there are going to be disagreements, and the hope would be that with this specific structure, those disagreements play out to where they don't become siloed, and coaches don't stay on their side and front office stays on their side, and they bury in and there becomes a lack of respect among one another, because that's what happened. And that was, I've said this many times. The Kwesi Adofo-Mensah drafts were not good, but for me, the reason that happened was because of the lack of trust and respect internally, that was going to lead to the best possible outcome.
Yeah.
And so, my first impression of Nolan Teasley, and we'll find out over time, is that he understands what processes he wants to put in place and what it's going to look like. And now, I think it's as much on Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores to work within everything as it is for Nolan Teasley to come in here and impress. Like, I think now the responsibility is not just Nolan Teasley's. It's Kevin O'Connell's. It's Brian Flores. Can you be a team player in this thing?
Right.
And we'll all find out if they can or not.
Great point.
The whether it's the presser yesterday, and we've heard it multiple times, that Kevin O'Connell was very instrumental in this process of finding their way to Nolan Teasley. Do you feel that somehow impacts the relationship moving forward or Nolan Teasley's ability for that consensus building, having the gavel at the head of the table and making the final decision. Because this is kind of unique in respects. We've talked about it for years about how, good head coach, but it's a new GM. GM probably wants his guys, quote unquote. So good luck, best of luck moving forward. And you see those changes made. This is kind of working in reverse, and it's very unique.
Yeah, I mean, the couple things I would say is it definitely helps to begin their relationship that Kevin O'Connell understands what he's about because he participated in that interview process. So, like, if Kevin O'Connell's not a part of the process, then you hire a guy that he doesn't know incredibly well, then it's like walking on eggshells to begin a partnership that needs to be phenomenal. So that's what I'd also say. The other aspect, there's been, I've heard pushback as far as Kevin O'Connell's say. And I just want to say, like, head coaches in the NFL, no matter where you are, hold a ton of weight and a ton of power in every single building. John Schneider in Seattle has been an exceptional GM. But if you think that Pete Carroll wasn't in many ways driving the ship in the process of decision making, I think you're a little bit misguided in some ways. And so I thought beyond, Kevin O'Connell and how that will help the partnership, for me, it's also like he can elevate the conversation in those interviews to ask questions that I can't imagine, Mark Wilf would have understood the depth to ask. Yeah. And so I think that's part of why he was involved. And I think it is a positive as you're trying to build a partnership here that he has an understanding of the guy he's going to be working with every single day.
When you hear Friday Football Feast, Buffalo Wild Wings, what do you think?
Best fan base in the country.
And I think Steve's Appliances and the marathon segments that take place each and every weekday and also provide us Alec Lewis each and every Friday during the football season.
That was well done.
For the Friday Football Summer Savings event right now. Fast delivery, free recycling, guaranteed low prices, with a bent on laundry and refrigeration. In fact, right now, go to stevesappliances.com and click on summer savings, and you'll learn you can save $800 on a fingerprint resistant stainless steel French door refrigerator, courtesy of GE. The showroom is in Mounds View. Learn more about how to save money on appliances and do so at stevesappliances.com. With this process, last one I have,
sure,
is when new general manager Nolan Teasley says, quote, "We're going to be guided by evaluation. We're going to be anchored by data and the coach's vision for the player."
Yeah.
The anchored by data part. Because you're guided, which means you're in essence present tense. In essence is happening. Anchored, you're in one place. So, like, how does the data fit into this, Yeah,
I think the point is that, like, if you think it's just going to be we're watching tape and that's it. Nolan Teasley, and this is something that I found out talking to a lot of people over the last few days. Like, he had a hand in every component of that Seahawks organization, performance science. So when he goes and sits down with Tyler Williams of the vice president of health with the Vikings, they're going to have a really detailed conversation because Nolan knows a lot of that stuff. When he goes and sits down with Brownell Mack, the psychologist for the team, he's going to have an understanding. So Chia Chum, the team chaplain. So my point is, to your question about data, like, there are going to be performance metrics for every position that he values, but they are not going to use that as the decision making. Like, they're not going to make a decision based on the data. The tape will guide them to the answer, and then the data will validate or make them ask more questions. I think, like, that's the one thing about Nolan Teasley that I think is pretty clear is he is a very curious guy who doesn't act like he has all the answers. And so if there is a layer of information that makes him curious, he's going to take that in, even if it is data and analytics. So, I don't think that like Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah is pretty obvious. That was a major driver of his process. I think, Nolan Teasley, it is a component of the decision-making process that he is familiar with. Like, don't get it twisted. To act as if he is just super scout guy is very wrong.
All right.
He came up through scouting, but he has a very detailed understanding of some of that stuff.
The reason I ask is I'm still waiting for somebody after a signature win to become the first in the history of the NFL to cite an analytic as to why they won. Well, we uncovered this data, and because of this, at this part of the field, at this hash mark, against this defensive set, well, that data, the analytics there genuinely led us to victory.
Well, I think here's the thing. When Kevin O'Connell is calling plays, he is, whether you want to call it data or analytics, he is going through the probabilities in his mind of what is this defense likely to play in this specific down and distance against this formation.
But after
that is data.
Okay.
He might not say
well,
it in
that's
the
age old.
Yeah, but that's
and you find the L's on the field and you go at them.
But that's like, I think, people go crazy about the term analytics and data. And people want to just cast shade on it constantly. And I think it's very misguided. Like, it can be a fundamental piece to how you make decisions.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be the primary piece, but if in any business, with Chad Abbott in his office, I guarantee you they know what gets listened to more than others. That's data.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
I'm passionate about it because I think there is immense value. But to think that you can make football decisions based on numbers alone is foolish.
Right.
And Nolan Teasley is very, very, very aware of that.
Got it.
From the presser yesterday, I realized all of you, as assembled members of the media, you're either going to have to, he does not offer 2-minute long word salad-esque answers, the way maybe other people have, past, present, future, etc. Just the facts was kind of a vibe, and I didn't see it as any sort of social anxiety, new guy in front of, first day of school type of thing. He's very much just, here's how it is, and next question, please.
Yeah, it's like, why waste time? Like, I'm convicted on this. This is the answer. And that it's funny. Scott Fitterer, who was the Panthers GM, I think he now is like scouting for the Commanders. He said, Nolan Teasley is one of the wittiest guys I've been around. And then I watched the press conference. I'm like, it must be off camera or something. And, but yeah, no, he is.
But you don't want to roll into your introductory
no, he's not,
and
right,
answer a
right.
question saying, yeah, see, I spilled spot remover on my dog. Now he's gone.
Yeah. No, I mean, it wasn't a lot of there weren't a lot of words. It wasn't a lot of anecdotes. And I mean, I threw him a softball to see how he'd answer it. What is the genesis of like you loving your football passion?
Football, yeah.
And it was like, played football out in the yard with my dad and brother. It was like, all righty.
Yeah, even
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, he was like, all right, good morning.
But even on the QBs, it's like, how do you manage the situation with that room? And he's just like, well, from a management standpoint, that's the coaches. The goal was to build a competitive room, and they did that.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But
all right.
But and again, as a media member, you want more. You want flowery. But if you really take a step back and you think strategically, that does the job. Like that.
I have a potentially 25-minute one-on-one sit-down with Nolan Teasley Monday on KFAN.
Do you have 300 questions?
Do you think we'll get the 25 out of it and have it be as opposed to
the over
10,000 lakes? Do you like to fish?
The over-under would be 14 and a half minutes.
Jeez, okay.
Kevin Gore just texted me, actually.
Okay, well, then hopefully the ego struggle and the silos can get us through 25. Alec Lewis at Alec_Lewis.
What are you going to ask him about? Why don't you hold his feet to the fire?
I haven't planned it yet, but I'm not one to listen to a press conference and say that there were valuable questions or certain or pertinent questions that were left on the proverbial cutting room floor. I thought it was great. I have no idea what I'll come up with. Talk to me Sunday at about 5 o'clock, and we'll be all ready to go.
I might talk to you.
Now, quarterbacks just was mentioned, and I'm going to hit you with a curveball around the corner.
Oh, boy.
But first, how frequently do new general managers bring in their scouts and their personnel people? Speaking of, questions that might have been left on the cutting room floor.
Well, no, we asked, and it was,
you did?
It was a, yep, we're going to, he said, I don't know the staff, so I'm going to assess it.
Yeah.
How frequently do they, I mean, very frequently. It helps these GMs establish their vision with people who know what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. This is an interesting question. I think it's the most interesting question with where things are right now. I'm more curious about it than I am watching the quarterbacks today, to be quite honest with you. But I would be surprised if Nolan Teasley didn't try to bring some folks from Seattle that he's very close with, specifically evaluators. That's what I'd say. As far as the Vikings staff, this is a weird time of year where typically there's not a lot of scout movement or director, assistant general manager movement in June. And so what does that look like? I think that's a question, but just knowing kind of how Seattle operates, bringing in some evaluators from a place that knows what they're doing from that standpoint, I think will be important. And I'd probably bet on it, even though I don't have any information on it.
Alec Lewis, The Athletic, theathletic.com. A jump starts 9 to noon on a cloudy and drizzly Thursday at FM 100.3 KFAN, courtesy of TimberTech and TimberTech.com. What's on deck 9 to noon includes Nacho Lieber 40 minutes from now, and Johnny Athletic from The Athletic, John Krasinski at 11 o'clock. Carl Anthony Towns, Covenant claps from yours truly. Well done last night.
So good last night.
Can't say I've ever seen him play a more responsible basketball game. Well done. Knicks opened up 1-0 on the San Antonio Spurs. The Vegas Golden Knights lead the Carolina Hurricanes 1-0 in that series, and we have another one this evening on FM 100.3 KFAN. Nordo produces, and I'm Paul Allen. Good morning. This is the Love Covenant. This is 9 to noon.
This is 9 to noon, live on iHeartRadio and KFAN, The Fan.
Dean's Home Services is...
Score your chance at top-tier tickets from John Mulaney to the Smashing Pumpkins, My Chemical Romance, and so many more. Don't wait. Enter now, KFAN.com. Keyword contests.
Seven, 36, 35. Wentz on 2nd and 5 from the Cleveland 12. He works out of the shotgun, takes the snap, 4-man rush, throws to the right side, caught! Touchdown! Jordan Addison! He's the man of the match! And he gives the Minnesota Vikings a 20-17 lead.
What a game.
Let me hit you with this curveball. What if Carson Wentz is and continues to outplay Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy through training camp?
No.
Who starts versus Green Bay? It wasn't a, what do you mean, no?
I don't see it as possible.
Okay, so you don't, so there is no steam that of those, well, there are 4 quarterbacks, but of those 3, Carson Wentz looks the best, is the most consistent, and people should not be surprised because he's the most veteran with the most reps who now has had a chance to absorb the system for a year.
No, if Kyler Murray's hurt, then that conversation becomes realistic. Otherwise, I'm going to be Nolan Teasley on this one.
Okay, well, what I'm saying is what if? I mean, because we don't watch all the practices. So what if? I mean, would you? Okay, let's layer it like this.
Are you surprised by my response?
Not at all, because you haven't answered the question, and I love you. Can you say either one, Kyler Murray or J.J. McCarthy, have had careers as good as Carson Wentz? It's a yes or a no, and we'll move on. The answer is no.
Kyler, I feel like has had comparable success at times for sure.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. McCarthy, without question, has not. So that's how I'd answer that.
Why was Murray? Why did they have to sit Murray last year for Jacoby Brissett when Kyler was healthy?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily sure that they had to. There could have been I will say this, I think there could have been a monetary component to it.
Okay.
With guarantees. I said this on my podcast last week, but I've done a lot of work on Kyler Murray the last few weeks and last couple months. And I do think that a lot of the narratives around him are pretty
lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the Alec Lewis show podcast. I watched it. You put a short out there. Brilliantly done.
I think it was aggregated. I didn't do that. I don't.
Whomever aggregated it did their job for you because it drew me in.
Yeah.
And for those who missed it, what were you saying about the lazy narratives?
Yeah.
And I'm not really aware of these lazy narratives. Like, I looked for it a little bit. I haven't heard much about Kyler Murray with the Vikings from now from, I don't want to disrespect fans.
Sure.
All right. But I didn't know if you were talking about fans or media members. And good morning.
Yeah, I just would say that I have spoken to a lot of people who have been around him for a long time. And I haven't written about this yet, and I will, obviously, so I'm not going to say everything here. But, you hear the Call of Duty. I get it. You hear the teammate things. I'm not sure I get that as much from everything I've heard. Mm-hmm. You hear, does he care? I don't know really where that comes from. Mm-hmm. And so but
where are you seeing and or hearing this? Oh, from sources?
Yeah, from a lot of people who spent meaningful time around him, close time around him.
So I don't have to be like, well, how is Jordan Schultz?
You can do that, but I'm telling you with conviction, I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't have major conviction on it.
Yeah.
And major,
I agree.
And major, a lot of conversations.
Right.
And
I'm blank slate guy.
Yeah.
So Call of Duty, the contractual embarrassment put forth by the Arizona Cardinals organization, that's yesterday's news. I'm blank slate guy. The direction I'm taking is I don't believe you conclusively can say with the three quarterbacks we've mentioned through organized team activities, specifically when it gets 11 on 11, that Carson Wentz has not been the best of the three. I don't believe it can conclusively be said.
Well, I've only seen one practice. So I've told people this. What I've seen is the equivalent of going out to TPC Twin Cities during the golf tournament that's here and watching JJ Spawn hit on the driving range. Mm-hmm. Like, that is the equivalent of what I've seen. So to act like I've seen everything and I know everything about the quarterback position and where things are at would be foolish from my standpoint. But
do you put Wentz at a 0 to start against Green Bay?
I would never put anything at a 0, but I wouldn't put it anything probably above a minor percentage because I think it's pretty clear cut.
Would you go Kyler 70?
I would go
McCarthy 20, Wentz 10?
No. It would be Kyler dramatically, unless there's an injury or anything like that. And after that, again, if there's an injury, then the Carson Wentz percentage would shoot up. Mm-hmm. And then if J.J. McCarthy shows consistency and professionalism every single day, then maybe that percentage does increase as well.
So if you were told from a power broker locally that would this surprise you? Well, of all those three, the one who is absorbing the nuance of what's expected from the plays is Carson. Would that surprise you if you were told that?
Oh, no.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if he has to absorb any nuance. The guy is extremely sharp, and he spent 9 weeks. I mean, no, he spent the whole season in the system and working through it on the field. So I think he has a pretty clear-cut understanding of what he's looking at.
And I have no inclination or steam that like, whoa, it's really slow to go with Kyler. Whoa, it's really slow to go with McCarthy. I believe it was in your athletic story about McCarthy and the improvement with the touch.
Yeah, it looks like that's something he's focused on. The mechanics look pretty smooth, but I mean, again, and I only saw one practice that was the equivalent of the driving range, but I
got it.
I mean, Kyler Murray stood out completely, and it was from the pocket. He wasn't like running around like he was making incredible throws from the pocket in the one practice that I saw, and I'll be out there in an hour watching him again.
What do you like about joint practices? And it's Baltimore this year.
Love it. Love everything about it. I think that Baltimore team, first of all, Jesse Minter, their new head coach, runs one of the better systems in the NFL defensively right now. So to get to see that for the quarterbacks is going to be fantastic. They have a ton of talent, obviously. And then their offensive coordinator, Declan Doyle, I believe it is, who came from Chicago. I think he's a rising star, probably a potential head coach. Working with Lamar in that system should be pretty interesting. So, when that was announced, I was stoked because I think that is a great marriage of different styles, different schemes, and incredible talent. I mean, gonna get to see Lamar Jackson on the practice field.
Right.
There's gratitude with that for me.
When Myles Garrett was traded to the Rams, the Los Angeles Rams went to they're Super Bowl favorites now. So from a betting standpoint, they've gone to Super Bowl favorites. And I watched Jared Verse's introductory press conference.
I didn't see that.
About 5 minutes of it. And he said all the right things, but he's not practicing in the team. This part stuck out with me. He's like, I'm not practicing in the team part yet, but that eventually will come. But from what I've seen, a bunch of hard workers, and I know this is a good team. So we have good players here. So it was something like that. But when the news comes down that this has happened, if you're Jared Verse, how do you feel?
Motivated.
Yeah.
Slighted.
Okay, one of two ways to go. I'm glad you went that way because it could be like, this sucks.
How could you not? I mean, he was a first-round pick, incredible for rookie season. And, I mean, obviously you're traded for Myles Garrett, but, yeah, I mean, you have to be motivated, would you not? And I think Verse is a really good player. I think he's kind of he's not your traditional edge rusher because he's not like bendy and wiggly. He's more just straight power. But I mean, it is phenomenal power. So, yeah, I would imagine imagine if the Athletic sent me to another team for Marcus Thompson to write for the Vikings, I'd be like, damn, they didn't think I was good. I don't know. I would understand it, but yeah.
You were traded for a Sando to be named later.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went looking for season wins totals at FanDuel, and I got away from it because they have a tab called Ram Specials. Okay, at FanDuel, they have a tab.
Of course they do.
Rams Specials.
Yeah.
Which way would you or you guys go on these? Myles Garrett, 20 or more sacks.
Is Aaron Donald coming out of retirement to play next to him?
This is as of now, so we got no AD. Myles Garrett, 20 or more sacks, plus 135.
I think I would go under.
I mean, plus 135 that's... I would need markedly more than that, wouldn't you, to get 20 or more?
I mean, 20 going over 20 sacks is just I don't know, but he is, and they do still have the defensive line. I mean, they still have what's his name,
Fisk?
Kobe
Turner.
Yeah, Kobe Turner, Braden Fisk, Byron Young. I mean, they still have guys. So,
do you find there to be legitimacy in this Aaron Donald speculation?
I have no idea, but just the idea of them next to each other makes me think, I don't, it's so silly. It would be so silly. And it would be, if you're an offensive line.
He didn't say no. He's been run down twice now by media members, and he won't say no.
I imagine he's just drumming up conversation, but yeah.
I think there's more to this than self-promotion because he has a YouTube channel on the horizon.
I don't know. As someone who has a YouTube channel, you got to do everything you can do.
But you're Alec Lewis, still of The Athletic.
Yeah, that would be correct.
This is Hall of Famer with ring cred.
But can you imagine
That's ridiculous.
What would you do if you're Brian Angelico and you're scheming up the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line against Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald? Who are you sending the double team to? You're going to have to go heavy with 6 offensive linemen, not to run the football, just to protect.
Here's how Rams crazy FanDuel is. So for Stafford to win the MVP and Myles Garrett to be the defensive player of the year, for those two things to happen, plus $3,500, 35 to 1. Plus $3,500, but Stafford has to win the MVP. And
for both of those to happen?
They both have to happen.
That's crazy.
The fact that it's only 35 to 1 is kind of speaking to that situation.
What's higher, that or the Vikings to win the Super Bowl?
The Vikings to win the Super Bowl. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I did find some odds. Jeremiah Love and Fernando Mendoza, both are plus 430, so 4.5 to 1 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Would you take either one of those?
I'm not sure if I would take either one of those.
Yeah,
because
me either.
Fernando, I don't think is going to start the season. I think Kirk will. And then Jeremiah Love, who is he running behind?
Yep.
And who's their quarterback?
Yeah, he's going to get 10 in the box every play until somebody completes a pass.
Who's the quarterback? Jacoby Brissett, I think there's a contract dispute.
That's a problem.
It's a silly problem.
It's a significant problem.
Can you imagine, as I guess noisy as Kyler, JJ, all that is, can you imagine if the noise was Jacoby won't show up? I mean, holy cow. That's why when they talk about competitive and deep quarterback room, there are levels to this.
Yeah.
You could be that level.
That's like if a tree falls in the forest and nobody hears or sees Jacoby, did he really run out on the field?
Or Carson Beck. Carson Beck, the rookie, they're like, oh yeah, he's really impressive. You're like, guys. Like,
Offensive Rookie of the Year. Damon Claiborne and Emmett Johnson each are 75 to 1. Your guy's 75 to 1. My guy's 75 to 1.
I don't know about either of those,
right.
But that feels like FanDuel making some money right there.
Defensive Rookie of the Year. Reuben Bain and David Bailey each are 5 to 1. Now, those are the top two choices. Caleb Banks is 75 to 1. He's plus 7,500. Now that's that's a pretty juicy number right there because he's going to play a lot.
I would say this question I'll pose to you. If that were to hit, what would that mean for where the Vikings are and
That's
get
a great
to?
point. Like if Caleb Banks becomes Defensive Rookie of the Year,
what is the result from a Vikings success standpoint?
I would bounce back to you. If that happens, who leads the secondary in interceptions and how many do they have? Because somebody's going to have a bunch. Now, that's with the assumption that Van Ginkel plays a majority of the season, Dallas Turner, the whole thing.
No, I'd say in the secondary, I'd probably expect Byron Murphy. He had a down interception year last year, so why can't he get back up there? I don't know. The safety position for this team is still interesting to me. And you've got Jay Ward, who I think will play a fair amount. I really like Jay Ward, actually. Always have. Theo Jackson, I don't know what his situation is. Josh Metellus, he's more of a box player to me. I think the more you're having to play him deep safety, I don't know. And then Jacoby Thomas. I mean,
Flores ain't taking the cane where he took the cane if he's not going to play.
That's the other one. Like, what if he had 6 picks his rookie season? What's the odds on that?
Well, this all plays into, granted, if it happens, but if the Vikings are healthy into the season, their season wins total at 8.5 is too low. Because it's a 9. We know what a 9 looks like from last year.
Yeah.
This ain't that.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think the number of 8.5, I think is what it still is a byproduct of the quarterback play, obviously, and the health. And I would also say the 9 last year, yes, but you also got the Giants towards the end of the season.
Yep.
They're terrible. Their coaching situation was terrible.
Yep. Got the Jets near the end of the season here.
And then the Packers backups, that was helpful for sure.
Packers
the Commanders without Jaden Daniels was Marcus Mariota. That was helpful, certainly. And
Daniels played.
Yeah, but
he got knocked out of the game.
Yeah, and then Cliff Kingsbury.
I got it.
So
yeah,
the 9 last year, I get it.
Lions' fourth place schedule, that's a legitimate thing. They might win a bunch of games because of that.
Yeah, so I don't know. But I think, if the quarterback play is what it can be, I don't see a world where they can't win 10 or 11 games at least.
Frank Smith, though.
Yeah, Frank Smith, we'll see. We'll see what the run game looks like. That's one of my most fun things that I'm looking forward to every time I'm out there.
And you're going to be out there today. We will read your stories at The Athletic and theathletic.com. We will watch your Alec Lewis Show podcast, courtesy of First Resource
We got to
Bank.
get you back on that soon.
And we also will follow your tweets at Alec_Lewis. And you go out there and watch Carson Wentz attack that middle zone with Addison and Jefferson and just have it look like second nature.
Well, we'll see if he gets any reps because last week there were about 2, maybe.
Right. That's what the good teams do.
I will just say as a reminder, and this is to remind myself, it is the equivalent of watching guys on the driving range. Yeah. That's what these practices are.
I get it.
So everything gets made out of everything, and every comment gets blown to smithereens. But it will be great to hear from Kevin O'Connell today on what he's seen thus far from Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy. I expect him to speak, and I think that those comments should be...
What about Wentz?
And Wentz and Brosmer as well. It should be good to hear them.
Have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
Good seeing you. Alec Lewis, The Athletic, and theathletic.com. It's 9:45. Good morning. This is 9 to noon.
This is 9 to noon on The Fan.
Keep listening for the next chance to win your way to our iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
KFAN welcomes some great shows to the Mystic Lake Amphitheater. The legendary Bob Dylan will be there July 6th. Motley Crue, August 21st. Santana and the Doobie Brothers, August 27th. Get the complete details on all the upcoming shows. Concert page, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
The soccer aficionado in the Love Covenant is Eric Nordquist. The World Cup begins next week. What chances do we have, United States of America, to house the world? Is it a puncher's chance, a long shot, a favorite? What would it be?
I mean, as low a chance as possible. They're very mid-pack, and they're probably going to win their group, which will get them at least one extra game as you get into the knockout rounds.
Okay,
but it is a very top-heavy conversation at this point.
There's purpose behind me bringing this up here. Not that part of it, but it's going to be a covenant call-out, wondering if somebody still exists and or is out there. Is the best netminder on the roster still Brad Guzan? What's funny?
No, it is not.
Not?
It's actually a trio they added to the roster, and I don't know a ton about them.
That's
but
fine.
Matt Turner is a guy I'm looking at. But no, Brad Guzan no longer in the mix.
Thank you.
Brad Friedel, Tim Howard, Tony Miola.
Tim Howard, he has to be 50.
No, they've all gone out to pasture. So it's a lot of new faces. Yeah.
Some things to remember into the World Cup for those of you who will use it as a sports-related distraction. That does include yours truly. It's a worldly event. I enjoy watching the World Cup, whether it's men or women. This is very important, so you don't have your day ruined on social media when you're attempting to file a report or offer a take on the World Cup, and then metaphorical whistles all of a sudden are being blown in your ears. It's the pitch, not the field. It's the pitch, not the field. So we have pitch side reports. We have streaking up and down the pitch.
Yeah.
And, there's a divot, so the match is going to stop for a second. Can it be a game, or does it always have to be a match?
I call it a game, but match is in the lingo.
Okay.
It's in the soccer/football lexicon.
Okay. The maintenance crew is repairing the match has stopped because the maintenance crew is repairing a divot on the pitch. It's not the field, it's the pitch. Here's the question. It's a very important question, too, with this worldly affair taking place beginning next week.
Yeah.
Will we hear from long-standing World Cup reporter Papa from Ghana? Papa from Ghana. And that's a phone call. That's not a talkback with respect to everybody in a corner office. Papa Ghana. Papa Ghana. Papa from Ghana. the official 9 to noon World Cup correspondent. How often do they do the World Cup?
Every 4 years.
All right. So I think it might have been 8 years ago. It was in the early stages of a Team Nordquist. And in fact, I think we had an off-site radio show that might have been at Target Center or somewhere in Minneapolis.
It was at Hubert's.
Hubert's, yes.
I think next to Target Field.
And who showed up?
Papa from Ghana.
Papa Ghana!
Papa Ghana.
Papa! Are you still there to help 9 to noon through the World Cup in your Papa Ghana fashion?
So my most recent, and this is
Papa
bad
Ghana.
on me, my most recent text message with Papa from Ghana, 2023. So it's been almost 3 years, and it was soccer related.
You have a working cell phone number for Papa from Ghana?
Well, we text and talk more than people know.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or at least we did that 3 years ago.
So we potentially can find him so that every so often he can help us with the World Cup.
Oh, he was elite. Super nice guy.
Fantastic,
and,
Papa.
The worldly knowledge that he has for the beautiful game on the biggest stage is something we're going to need over the next month.
Long-standing World Cup reporter or vibe, Papa from Ghana.
We should bring back all the bits. Let's get Amos McGee in the house. Let's get everybody associated with the game.
Sounds great.
We'll add them up over the next month.
We'll start with Papa Ghana. It's not the goalie. It's the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Again, trying to keep whistles out those ears. It's not the goalie. It's the goalkeeper. What's a set piece? This happens to me every 4 years. What's a set piece?
It's a free kick. Can be a corner kick. Any situation in which the physical run of play has stopped.
So it's not setting up some formation or scheme and executing it.
Well, you would set up a scheme for a corner or for a free kick, but
Set piece.
that's when the play stops. You hear a whistle, you see a point, and you see that ball put down. Guys got to back up 10 yards or something like that. Free kicks and corners, set pieces.
What about a nutmeg?
Well, that's when you put that ball right through somebody's legs, whether
Well
it's the
done.
keeper or a defender.
Well done. Nutmeg. State of hockey. Listen very closely if you choose to opine in social media circles on the World Cup. State of hockey is very important. It was not scored via the 5-hole. It was nutmeg. When a player kicks it through the wickets of an opponent and retrieves it on the other side, it's actually not a goal. It's kicking it through somebody's legs and then running around him and getting it in nutmeg-like fashion.
Although to meg a keeper, that's a beautiful thing. And I personally...
To meg a keeper?
Yeah, I mean, that's
Loving
something
it.
bad has to happen.
He got megged.
I will say this, state of hockey, if you're watching the World Cup and somebody goes 5-hole, say it as much as you want.
Right.
That's amazing if that happens.
8 days from today, which would be day 2 of the World Cup, I'm already bracing myself for the only social media outlet I have, Twitter, X, and seeing somebody in very snarky fashion, probably doesn't even mean it, just wants to get somebody or people going by saying, well, I mean, hockey is just it's just soccer on ice, or vice versa. Soccer's just hockey on grass.
I always love that one.
That offends people in such a worldly fashion.
Oh, yeah.
It's the goalkeeper. We got set piece. Somebody got megged. What about parking the bus?
Just going full defensive mode.
Look
so
at you, brother. Damn.
Parking the bus. You're just backing everybody up and behind the ball, and you're just trying to watch that clock tick down to victory.
Look at you, Pele. Franz Beckenbauer producing 9 to noon. Parking the bus, a heavily defensive tactic where a team puts almost all of their players behind the ball to protect a lead and with little to no intention of attacking. That's parking the bus. What about, lastly, Papagana? What about downing tools?
Downing tools?
Downing tools.
That's not a term I've ever used.
When a player is not happy with their team or manager, they down tools by striking to make a protest. Downing tools, look it up.
Wow.
What the heck is this all about? Do players cancel their coach during a game, then take a ref's whistle and blow it in the ear of said coach, or is it manager? It's manager, not coach, right?
Yes, manager.
Okay, those are downing tools. When a player is not happy with their team or manager during the game, they down tools by striking to make a protest.
Yeah, this is actually, apparently this was originated in British English, and it was literally the act of stopping working.
Mm-hmm.
Now, specifically, halting labor is a form of protest strike, industrial action.
Downing tools.
Downing tools. Oh, yeah, players, if they don't get enough playing time, if they aren't getting the ball, if it's not working out chemistry-wise,
yeah,
and you have a big enough profile,
yeah,
you can go down tools real quick, and suddenly you find yourself wearing a different shirt, not jersey.
Via relegation, right?
Well, if the team's hideous, yeah, they'll be relegated.
KFAN Sports Time is 10 o'clock. Back after this.
Paul